Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Gab here, back with another good video for today. I wanted to make this quick little video to talk about a female boxer that's on the rise, that's in the super flyweight division. For those of you that don't know, Gabriela Fundora is the sister of up-and-coming 154-pounder brother, Sebastian Fundora, who fights on the PBC stable. I'm not so sure what Sebastian Fundora is doing nowadays. Hopefully he can probably get a contending fight. For some weird reason, he's supposed to get a world title eliminator, title shot. I'm not too sure. I mean, honestly, I think he's already there. But I mean, I'm pretty sure 154 is already stacked with so many fights being set up, but that's if Charlo and Castaño don't fight for undisputed in a rematch. I don't really know what Fundora is going to do. So hopefully Sebastian, I guess if he's going to stay busy, he's going to fight somebody that's going to be in the top 10 for the WBA or whatever rankings that he's ranked under. And I guess we'll see where he's at. But either way, that's not what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about his sister, Gabriela Fundora, who is a pretty decent fighter. Not the best fighter in the world. I don't think she's like, made to be a champion. But I have a bit of criticism for her career. Not to say that I'm the one to be jealous. I am all for greatness for any fighter that wants to be on the come up. But there needs to be better explanation, when it comes to matchmaking. Because what I am about to show you is pure disgust in the sport of female boxing. And I'm going to show it to you right about now. Sorry, I'm just trying to get things ready because I'll be leaving soon. But I'm going to be talking about her recent fight that she had. I believe it was in Mexico. But she had, I believe, scored a first round TKO victory, if I'm not mistaken, against some Mexican girl. She wasn't that good to begin with. She wasn't even on Gabriela's, level, sadly. Kind of felt like that was more of a mismatch, but then again, styles make fights, but matchmaking is garbage in the sport of, women's boxing. But I wanted to talk about this because this is really disrespectful for the super flyweight division, because what you see right here that I will show to you is that Gabriela is now getting a interim WBA World Super Flyweight title shot. Which, I mean, this isn't really anything, but how the hell does Gabriela Fundora, a girl that does have 3 fights under her belt, and now she's like what? She's now gonna fight this Natalie Delgado girl. She's only 26 years old, coming out of Panama, right? Good lady, not the best lady in the world as far as like where she is in her career, as far as skills wise, but decent fight. It's definitely good on her behalf, for Gabriela's behalf, I guess, to get a title shot, to be closer to a world title, especially for a mandatory position. But here's my problem with this. Gabriela Fundora, she's not this type of fighter that I would say is like the best fighter on earth. She's very green in the sport. She's only 19 years old, and she really hasn't done anything that spectacular by beating high-quality opponents and names in her division. See, now, if she had beat a girl like Czarina Mccoy, which I do not ever see that fight, even being close, because Czarina, she is probably levels above her as far as, like, speed, caliber, ring IQ, ring generalship. Anything you could think of, Czarina can just do better, because Gabriela, she's so long, rangy, but she doesn't perfect her abilities yet. She hasn't been at that level before. But I mean, if you put her in there with like those type of ladies where she's getting tested and she's getting battle tested for those IQ type of chess match fights, then I would say that makes all the sense in the world for her to earn a title shot. But here's the problem, though. Gabriela Fundora is not that type of fighter yet. So what do I say about it? You know, as a boxing fan, I say shit, I'm sorry. I say that this is horrible for the sport of women's boxing. And this fight should not even be sanctioned by the WBA because Gabriela Fundora did nothing to earn that type of fight. Within 3 fights, heading into her 4th fight, it makes 0 sense as far as matchmaking goes. Sorry. But moving forward, Czarina Mccoy should be the one fighting for a title, not Gabriela Fundora. Why? I'll tell you why. Czarina Mccoy, if we just take a look at her box rec, she already has what? Shit, box rec don't even want to, fix up their site. Come on. I will look it up on Tapeology. Hopefully it could let me know. Alright. Czarina Mccoy is 7-0. She beat, Mary Camacho. She beat Tania Rivera. She beat Noelle Romero. Beat Carla Islas. She at least beat some women to get up to a contender status. Or she's closer to one. Because she already has that experience. She's already going through like the rough, rugged, matchmaking fighters. Or match-made fighters. And that's going to help her elevate her career a lot bigger. See, now for Gabriela, she hasn't done anything like that. She has just fought a bunch of girls that are not even that well talented in skill. And she hasn't really gone up against a live dog. She hasn't been in a real war that has put her above that level of competition to put her to that, type of thinking. And I think like the perfect fighter for her that would definitely bring her to that high level would be a girl like Czarina Mccoy. Why? Czarina Mccoy is a very, very good fighter. She's tall, she's rangy, she has a really good jab, and she knows how to outbox somebody even when you think you're getting her, or even when you think you're getting the best out of her. See, now, the good thing about Gabriela is that she has a lot of good range to keep herself at bay on the outside. But the problem is that we haven't seen her get tested to the chin. We haven't seen her get tested to the body. We really even haven't seen her getting tested to a pressure type of fighter. Because Czarina, she can easily do that. She can easily break someone down, and she can easily chop that treehouse down. See, now, the biggest issue that I'm having with this whole match alone is that, what is this Panamanian girl gonna do? I haven't seen this girl fight. I only checked like 1 fight out of her. But she hasn't even been on Showtime. You're meaning to tell me, WBA, that Gabriela Fundora, a blue chip prospect, deserves a title shot within 4 fights? At 19 years old. That does not make any sense. I say you should be ready for a title fight at 10 fights. At least 10 fights, because at least you know that you could be ready for a interim, for a mandatory position, and then build your way to a title shot. Because at least that way you can get a taste of that veteran level competition, and then you could work your way up to a world title. Because at least that way it helps your stock rise and it makes you into a better fighter. See, now the problem that I have in the sport of boxing is obviously matchmaking and the promotional companies and the political bullshit that the fans pull to say that this fighter deserves all the credit in the world, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, in the end, no, she doesn't. that fighter does not deserve all the credit in the world if they're not going to fight all the best fighters around their weight division. So, I think what needs to happen is that maybe Czarina should start applying pressure. Because she's in her division, by the way. Gabriella is in the super flyweight division, for those of you that don't know. And Czarina is in that division as well. And I just wanted to cover on this because, you know, it's a really touchy subject that people don't want to talk about when it comes to fighters being in the same division. And then people don't want to advocate for them fighting fighting each other. And I'm not like that. I am the best fight the best every single day. You don't just come into the sport of basketball because you feel like that you could just beat everybody however you choose to beat everybody. No, you come into basketball to play your heart out in the NBA. If I went to the NBA tomorrow, I'm going to play my heart out like my life depends on it, because you never know if you're ever going to get another shot again. But if you play your heart out every single game, the NBA, I swear to God, will keep you. That is why Kevin Huerter is at the level at where he is. And I give him a ton of credit, and I'm going to make a tribute to Kevin Huerter. But Kevin Huerter definitely earned his spot in the NBA. But when you compare him to Gabriela Fundora, Kevin Huerter had to work his way up to be at the spot where he is with the Atlanta Hawks. Gabriela Fundora did not do any of that to be at the level where she is now. So that's a problem that I have with Gabriela Fundora. I don't hate Fundora. I think she's a lovely lady. I'd like to talk to her one day. I'd like to even ask her, how did you even get this title shot? Because I'm going to ask her, like, do you ever plan to fight any other contenders down the path? Because people are now going to question you, to ask you, well, who are you going to fight else? Like, you know, who are you going to fight next leading up to higher levels of competition? Like, are you going to fight Czarina Mccoy? Are you going to fight, you know, Ebony Bridges or any of those girls at bantamweight and super bantamweight? I mean, like, just looking at her body type, she's very tall enough to fight at, like, super featherweight. If you, like, you know, if we're really going to be honest, she could fight, like, you know, the biggest that I could see her grow up to is super lightweight or lightweight. If not lightweight, or super lightweight. I mean, shit. I mean, honestly, maybe, you know, 147 could be, you know, like, where, you know, it all ends. But I mean, Gabriela Fundora, she's a very tall, athletic, rangy girl. So I mean, with her being 19 years old, her body is constantly growing. Same thing with Czarina. She's a, you know, very tall girl herself too. But I mean, I don't see why these two can't fight. You know, why can't it be her and Czarina? You know, that's a way better fight. That's a way more noticeable fight. And, you know, that's something that fans could look back to and say, wow, that is actually a really good fight to see. And a lot of people would definitely like to see that, because that fight itself would sell. You know, even if you put it on a big card, I say put it on a, you know, I don't know, like a top ranked card. Put on the, you know, Conceijo or Oscar Valdez card, or shit, put it, like, you know, put that fight on the Stefan Fulton and Brandon Figueroa card. Like, I don't see how that fight cannot be made. But like many other fighters say, including what Czarina had told me in the past, it's promoter politics. That is really what's killing the sport of boxing, because fighters like Gabriela Fundora are probably going to be lined up to be a hopeless fighter. And I really hope not, because Gabriela Fundora is not this type of fighter that I think is going to be that good coming down the line in the future. But that's why I want to see her in these really extreme tough fights, because she just can't be going around and saying that she's going to be number one in the world, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to become number one in the world, then you got to get through girls like Czarina. You know, you just can't think that you're just going to run away from Czarina. You're not going to run away from Tyresha Douglas. You can't just be running away from all these other, you know, Black Murderers Row fighters, or fighters on the coincidental list that want to, you know, get a piece of you. No, you got to give everybody, you know, that fair shot. But this is why I wanted to cover this, because it's really disrespectful for the sport of boxing to be dealing with massive corruption at this level. And I don't understand how this fight was even sanctioned properly. And I'm definitely going to talk about this more later on in the future, before and after this fight is over. Because Gabriella has started boxing, like, her very first fight, if I'm not mistaken, was back in the summer, if I'm not mistaken. And Fundora, she really hasn't been doing anything, in her career yet. She's really only had, like, what? She's really only had, like, a couple months worth of fighting. She's not really fighting anybody, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just so weird how she was able to get this fight. Yeah, right here. She had her first fight. She had her first fight back in May of this summer. And she then fought Indea Smith, and then she fought Carol Mazagarios, knocked her out in one round, and now she's going to fight Natalie. So she's really only been active for like 4 months, leading into like the whole year. So that's a problem that I have with this whole issue. She is climbing so fast through the rankings, but she hasn't done anything. She hasn't really beat any high-quality opponents. But I could tell you who she can fight leading up to a world title, and I would say number one would be Czarina Mccoy. Jasmine Artiga. That's a good fighter. I like watching her fight. I like to see you fight Luisana Bolivar. That would be a good fight. I like to see you fight... Who else? I want to say a girl like... not that many good fighters here, but... I mean, like, the super flyweight division is really such a bad division. But I'd say anybody in the top 50. There's like nobody that I know here that would give her that much of a good fight. But I'd say go with maybe Dorota Norick. I mean, that's a decent fight. Fight Evelyn or Daniela's sister, Roxana Bermudez. That's a decent fight. I would watch that fight. Fight Daniela Rivero. That's a good fight. Fight Daniela Flores. I hear she's a good fighter. And last fight I would go with would be Agustina Rojas or Carolina Mejia. Yeah, I think that would be a good fight for her. But either way, that's pretty much what I have to say, honestly, because I really don't have that much to really say other than this is like really bad matchmaking in the sport of female boxing. And again, this is really no hate towards Gabriella Fundora. She's a really hard-working lady. She definitely wants to be up there, but you can't just be up there by pulling off a Canelo Alvarez. Because, I mean, if this is what she's going to do for the rest of her career, I really hope Czarina Mccoy, she really makes a public call-out and gets this woman to fight her. Because she's not built to fight at 115. She's more so built to be fighting at, like, featherweight or super featherweight. And I'm only saying that because her body type is not grown, yet. She still has, like, a long way to go. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I was talking with Serena about this, and she said something right here, but I'll just say it. Yeah, she said it right here. She said, Samson Boxing is pulling strings for her. He signed her brother a while back ago, so you know how that goes. So yeah, that pretty much explains where we are right now, but... huge shout out to Czarina Mccoy. She should definitely apply pressure to this lady. Definitely get this girl. Definitely call this girl out. She is not the sweet poison. She's more like the bad poison. The bad poison for the sport of women's boxing. She should not be getting a title shot or, a mandatory position at 4 fights. I've never seen a fighter grow like that, except for like Lomachenko being the highest exception. But for the sport of female boxing, you know, you just can't hype her up to be this type of fighter. I'm sorry, but I mean, I won't be surprised if she actually loses to a guy like, or, you know, if she loses to this Panamanian girl, because I don't know how she fights, but based on where she is, she only has one knockout. She's not that big of a puncher. You know what I'm saying? Like, within her first 2 fights, she dropped, like, you know, she dropped with the Jasmine Valverde woman, but she couldn't drop Indija, and she got, you know, she had a lucky KO over Carol. I mean, honestly, like, you know, like the Carol girl, she obviously just stood there. She wasn't really moving her, like, you know, her head around. She wasn't doing anything like about it. You know, it was a complete mismatch, and she should have been in there with like a woman like Czarina Mccoy. Like I'm just putting that out there, or even Tyresha Douglas. Tyresha Douglas would easily smoke her. But I'm just saying that as far as like her style right now, her style is completely tailor-made for a woman that could do way better than all these other low-tier women in her division. And I think that's what she's doing, but I'm not too sure of how she's moving in the sport. But from my own angles of how I'm viewing this fight, she's not doing it the right way. So that's not a good thing to do. I think that needs to be reversed. She needs to be fighting some tough women in the division that is still left. And then, you know, I don't know what her plans are, but if she's planning on cleaning up everybody out of the division and then move up to, I don't know, bantamweight, then good for you. I don't care how you do it. Just make sure that you keep your words, you know, where you are. Keep your words to your mouth. So that's pretty much what I have to say. No hard feelings towards her. I'm pretty sure, you know, Sebastian Fundora, he wants to do the same thing. But this is what I say towards, you know, Sebastian Fundora. When you're ready to face that smoke, you better not be ducking. You know, that the best competition that calls you out next, because 154 is a really mean division. 154 has killers in that fucking division. I have yet to hear Fundora call out Julian J. Rock Williams, Erickson Lubin, who else? Israel Madrimov. That would be a very good fight to see. Fighting guys like Jason Rosario, I think Fundora can beat him. But you know, that wouldn't be a very easy fight. That would be a very difficult fight. But I mean, like, the only good name that he's ever taken out is Nathaniel Gallimore. But you know, that's pretty much it. I don't see Fundora being such a good fighter for the future. I mean, he has a long way to go. And I mean, you know, based on how he's built for 154, he kind of looks like a, you know, he looks like a twig, and I kind of feel bad for saying that, but I just don't think Fundora is going to be cut out for 154 when he gets hit to the body or to the head, based on how he, you know, responds to guys that are real power punchers in that division. But that's pretty much what I have to say. Like, honestly, I really have no hard feelings towards the Fundora family. I think it's really stupid that the WBA gives Gabriela Fundora a interim title shot when it should be Czarina Mccoy, because she is the WIBA world champion. So, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world for her to unify her belt with the WBA instead of giving Gabriela a interim title shot. You know, that makes zero sense whatsoever. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.